So moving on to Polkadot. So Polkadot is an open source multi-chain protocol that aims to promote the cross-chain transfer of assets or data types. Its main feature is the interoperability it will establish between the many current and future blockchains, where information and transactions can easily flow between the different blockchain networks. So thinking back to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin and Ethereum essentially cannot communicate with one another without a third party or some sort of intermediary essentially acting as a middleman to communicate and relay information. Polkadot aims to be that multi-source, multi-chain blockchain, essentially the blockchain of blockchains, where it will essentially allow the information of transactions and other data to easily flow between these two networks, or whatever, however, more than just two, but really any network. So here's Polkadot's website. We also see Polkadot's market capitalization 3 months ago was $32.04 billion. And as of time of publication, Polkadot's market cap is $37.12 billion. So while not a dramatic increase in valuation or amount invested into the project, still a $5 billion increase and $5 billion invested over a 3-month time span is still very important, considering Polkadot's market cap really was only $32 billion. So that's a substantial increase in terms of percentage increase from 32 to 37. Now, Polkadot's volume transacted, the amount transacted in a 24-hour period, is about $1 billion, $1.2 billion. See, Dot's circulating supply is 900 million DOT, so 987 million DOT is circulating, almost 988 million DOT. The max supply is not necessarily known or has not been established at this particular time. And the total supply in creation at this time is 1.1 billion DOT. So that means there is a difference between the circulating supply and the total supply. So this figure, the difference between these two figures, could be some sort of holding by the team project, by the Polkadot project, or maybe by other members of the founding team that are not obligated to sell or just essentially put in the company's or the project's reserves. Now, Polkadot utilizes a dynamic release system that aims to increase the total supply about 10% per year. This is why there's not necessarily a maximum supply or a fixed supply put into place. So essentially, Polkadot uses algorithms and other methods to track the creation of Polkadot over time, and they can aim to increase that supply or that rate or decrease it to meet about 10% per year. That is their goal increase rate. We also see that DOT follows a proof of stake consensus model similar to Cardano and similar to what Ethereum hopes to accomplish in its ETH 2.0 upgrade. In terms of type of token, DOT is the token or the currency used on the Polkadot network, similar to Ether is a currency used on the Ethereum network. And some associated projects are Kusama, KSM, and Polkaswap, PSWAP. DOT's release date, the first token sale was on October 27, 2017. That was done through crowdfunding. And the Genesis block creation, which is essentially block 0, the first block of the blockchain, this was created on May 26th of 2020. Now, the founding members of the Polkadot team are Dr. Gavin Wood, former Ethereum co-founder, Robert Habermeyer, and Peter Sabin. Dot's white paper can be found on their website. Here's a link to the full white paper as well. We'll be taking a look at some examples from that. And their roadmap can be found as well, their update schedule on their website. So here's an example of the Polkadot website. And here we see some clear examples of where they are and where they're looking to go in terms of roadmap and project updates. So the most recent updates, they allowed balance transfers between certain accounts, and the current phase is looking towards rolling out their Parachain upgrade, which is essentially a network, a side network that will be created within the greater Polkadot network. We also see examples of how Polkadot actually works with their system of relay chains, which is the heart of Polkadot, responsible for the network shared security, their parachains, parathreads, their network bridges as well, and different roles in terms of consensus and approving and validating transactions. Here's Polkadot's white paper. So here are a lot of different figures. Here are just some highlighted parts of the white paper where they highlight scalability, how much resources are spent globally on processing, bandwidth, and storage for the system to process a single transaction. They talk about isolatability, developability, governance, and applicability. These are all things that they're keeping in mind and things that they're considering as they're creating this mega project. Moving on, here are some examples of their participation and their process of consensus, how they're planning on using this system of validators and collators and different network participants to essentially help approve and process transactions. And on the right here, we essentially see their relay chain. This is the system that they're going to use to essentially dock in other blockchains to allow for that interoperability, whether that's docking with Ethereum or maybe Bitcoin or any other ones. Essentially different blockchains will dock into this main network and allow for the relay of information. Moving on to Polkadot's price movement and price history. So over the course of its existence, Polkadot has seen tremendous growth, starting out with a valuation of about $2 per dot. This price has seen fairly recent new all-time highs of about $50, almost $55 per dot. And the price is still relatively remained steady and has held its value in comparison to its all-time lows and all-time highs. We see similar comparisons with its market capitalization chart in comparison to its all-time price action chart or price movement. Taking a look at its 3-month price action. So particularly, DOT has really increased in value, particularly in October and into November, where DOT was valued at about a little bit under $30, maybe about $28 in August, maybe early September, and has seen dramatic price increases to mid 40s and eventually into the mid 50s price range. Once again, the market capitalization reading follows up with this. We see just overall money has essentially accumulated over time, over the past 3 months, into DOT. And while it has somewhat fallen, it has deteriorated from its peaks in early November, there does, at least for the time being, there does seem to be a bit of a rebound. Now, in terms of looking at this and comparing and saying what is the value of DOT, is DOT valuable? Because it's so future-centric and it's really looking to be the blockchain of blockchains, Polkadot might not necessarily realize its potential until other blockchains are in development, are established, and there is a true need for interoperability.